I need you guys to understand that Magneto is a stupid ass bitch. Magneto is an old ass bitch. Magneto is full of shit. Magneto can drop dead and go straight to hell. Magneto pissed me off so bad in this episode. Everything that came out of his mouth in this episode literally just aggravated the shit out of me. Magneto. Magneto. Magneto.
To this day. To this day.
Theme song. So the episode opens up with the X-Men from the future. It's Scott, Jean, Wolverine, Morph, Storm, and Forge. They are in the X-Mansion sub-basement. They are at a conference table and they're just discussing everything that went down, and they are concerned for the X-Men that are stuck in the past. Now, I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I was not expecting the X-Men from the future to return back to the present so quickly. I strongly believe that they should have stayed in the future where they were at, and everything that they were going through in the future, it should have played out throughout the majority of the season. Don't just have an episode focused on them being in the future and then you send them back. Because I was going into this season with the expectation of 3 different storylines within 3 different timelines going throughout the season, not just wrapped up in one episode. So I'm a little bit aggravated with that, but it's okay. It doesn't make or break the season for me. So let's move on. So then we jump to 3000 BCE. That's right. We are following the X-Men that were sent in the past, and they were sent back centuries in the past. And we see a conversation taking place between Magneto and Apocalypse, but at this time he is known as Unsabanor. That name is just so cultured. It's so rich. It just rolls off the tongue. Unsabanor. Like, that's a man that has like millions, if not billions of dollars in his bank account. Unsabanor. That's the name that you will put on a yacht. It's such a rich folks name. Unsabanor. It just rolls off the tongue. I love that name. As a matter of fact, he should have kept that name instead of going with Apocalypse. Unsabanor. Such a good ass name. And let me just go ahead and put this out right now. Apocalypse, Unsabanor, he's black. He is 100% black. Do not look at the pale, gray, white skin complexion. Listen to his voice.
They do not change the fact that people like me are only privileged to dream.
He's a knitter! Knitter!
I'm a black man. I can hear when another black man talks. And if this is a white person that is voicing Unsabanor, then this nigga got his black scent down, because Apocalypse, he sounds like a straight up black man. You know why? Because he is. Shout out to Unsabanor. Now, this is one of the first examples of why Magneto pisses me off in this episode, because he is quote unquote mentoring Unsabanor like he is some child, and Magneto is just like this big grand voice that speaks with so much wisdom. This dumbass is telling Apocalypse,
and what you could become. And what is that? With my guidance, a god among insects.
Magneto, you know that Unsabanor is destined to be Apocalypse. And you know that Apocalypse is one of the biggest X-Men villains and one of the biggest threats to the mutant community and the human community. So why, stupid ass, are you telling Apocalypse, are you telling Unsabanor that he is a god among insects? What type of seeds are you trying to plant here? Because it doesn't really make any sense. Just shut the f up and find something to shave that ugly ass beard of yours. What the f are you doing?
My brain be telling me to say, what the fuck?
So in comes Charles Xavier. Thank God. He is telling Magneto to get a damn grip. You cannot sway the destiny of Unsabanor from becoming Apocalypse. You are going to up the time stream. We, as in Charles, Magneto, plus Beast, Rogue, and Nightcrawler, we need to find a way back to the present timeline. Stop trying to convince Unsabanor to do the right thing. Focus on our mission, which is getting the home. Thank you, Charles Xavier, because Magneto, what the Magneto, just go to hell. Let's move on. So we see that Unsabanor has his army and he is trying to invade the Pharaoh's palace. And if you look at the Pharaoh's palace, it is a whole bunch of modern, I don't even want to say modern, it's a whole bunch of advanced technology. I just want to remind you guys that we are in the year of 3000 BCE. There was no electricity back then. So where is the Pharaoh getting all of this advanced technology? Kind of makes you want to say, what the is going on here? So Magneto has the bright idea. When Unsabanor fights the Pharaoh and all of his forces full of advanced technology, Magneto and the X-Men, they're going to swoop in. They're going to gather all the wreckage from the technology via this battle, and they're going to take it back to their base of operations and use that technology to construct something to get them back home to the present. And that's a good plan. Gold star for Magneto, I guess. I still don't like your ass. So the battle commences. We see Unsabanor going against the forces of the Pharaoh. This fool walked up in that bitch. He grabbed a full-blown ass elephant and he swung it like he was swinging a cotton pillow.
I cannot believe my eyes.
What the entire Unsabanor is nothing to play around with. I mean, we seen him in his apocalypse era, but his pre-apocalypse era, it's like, damn. I ain't never seen anybody sling an elephant, a big ass elephant, like he just did. This motherfucker ain't nothing to play around with at all. And as Unsabanor is getting ready to kill the Pharaoh, Magneto is hovering over him, influencing him not to do it. Whatever. Let's move on. So back at the base of operations, we see the remaining X-Men. We see Beast, we see Rogue, and we see Nightcrawler. I just want to say, I love Nightcrawler. He is so optimistic. He is so positive. His energy is so refreshing.
Were you seen?
Oh, Professor, ye of little faith, not a soul saw me. Although, in an ancient Egypt of murderous robots, I would imagine a demon lurking among them would hardly come as a surprise.
Nightcrawler is literally the heart of the X-Men. Nobody can convince me otherwise. This is why Nightcrawler is in my top 5 favorite X-Men of all time. He's not the most powerful X-Men. All he can do is teleport, but it doesn't really matter. Nightcrawler does not have to be an Omega level mutant to demonstrate his aura. He is just the absolute best. I love Nightcrawler, and it's so good to see him in any episode. And sidebar, can we talk about these fits? Rogue costume, Beast costume, Charles Xavier's costume, Nightcrawler's costume. They look good. They are in Egypt, swagged out. Except for Magneto. Magneto looks the same. So anyway, we see Beast, and we see that Beast, he's been building his own time machine from all the technology that they gained from the battles, which is what Magneto was alluding to earlier. Beast tries out the time machine, and it flops, and then he has a crash out moment.
Blast these machines.
Beast, I understand that you're frustrated, but you literally built a time machine with a box full of scraps in a cave. That's not even a quote from the first Iron Man movies.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
That is literally what he has done. He is getting the technology from these battles that Unsalvanor is doing. Nightcrawler is going in, stealing whatever wreckage of technology for Beast, and he is using that technology to build a whole ass time machine. Give yourself grace, Hank McCoy, because that is some genius level shit. So next we see that Magneto is trying to find a way to interrogate the Pharaoh and gain more information regarding the technology that he is using. And then we see another argument. I am about sick of both Charles Xavier and Magneto, but if I had to choose between the two, I'm definitely choosing Charles Xavier all day, every day. Another argument takes place between Charles and Magneto. And now this is the second time that Magneto has pissed me off in this episode. Magneto wants Unsalvanor, who will soon be Apocalypse. He wants Unsalvanor to follow the ideology of Charles Xavier's dream. The dream of mutant and human coexistence. He thinks in his mind you, this is Magneto speaking, not Charles Xavier. Magneto believes in his mind that if Unsalvanor follows the ideology of Charles Xavier, it will prevent so much suffering in the future regarding mutants.
What if a mutant with Apocalypse's power had championed your dream 5,000 years before you did? Not merely the first mutant, the first X-Man.
Magneto, if Unsalvanor does not become Apocalypse, and he decides to embrace Charles Xavier's dream, centuries, over 10 centuries before your present day, Magneto, do you know that there is a strong possibility that you may not exist? Neither will Charles Xavier, neither will the X-Men, because what would be the point for you guys to exist? The reason why Charles Xavier came up with that ideology of mutant and human coexistence was because of his own experience. He saw how mutants were being targeted. He saw and read the minds of humanity and their hatred towards mutants. So he took a stance and was like, listen, we can be in this together. And that is how he formed the X-Men. So if you want Unsalvanor to follow Xavier's dream, centuries before Xavier is even born, centuries before your ass is even born, y'all might not exist. No, there is a strong possibility that there will not be a Charles Xavier, there will not be a Magneto, there will not be an X-Men, because the reason for y'all existence is what happened in y'all time. But now you're in the past trying to alter time, trying to get Unsalvanor to not become Apocalypse, but to become Charles Xavier. Not understanding and not realizing like, hey, if he does this, we might not have a future to return to. Magneto. Oh, Magneto. So damn smart. So damn smart.
It's almost hurtful to me to watch her be so dumb.
The second thing that pissed me off about this whole entire conversation was Magneto's motivation. Magneto's motivation for influencing Unsalvanor to become Charles Xavier and push mutant and human coexistence. His reasoning behind doing that is because what he experienced in Genosha.
As to the cowards who sponsored Bastion's smiting of Genosha.
You know, last season, episode 5, when Bastion sent that wild sentinel to the country of Genosha, and they was pretty much slaughtering any mutant in their place. Magneto is still traumatized by that, because he had to fight in that battle, and he almost lost in that battle. Him bringing up Genosha pisses me the off. Why? Because let's rewind back to episode 8. When Valerie Cooper freed Magneto from Bastion's prison base of operations, remember Bastion had a whole entire collar around his neck. Remember that Bastion actually pulled up Magneto and like gave him a clean shave and whatnot. Remember back in episode 8, Valerie Cooper, she freed Magneto. And you would have thought that, oh, okay, Magneto's gonna take the fight to Bastion. That's not what he does. Magneto went to the North Pole to manipulate the Earth's electromagnetic field, and he shut down the entire electric grid of the entire globe. No country, no human, no civilization had any electricity because of Magneto. And if he did not turn the electromagnetic field back, the globe would have suffered and billions of people would have died. Why are you mentioning Genosha, Magneto? Because when you had an opportunity to avenge everybody that died in Genosha and take the fight to Bastion and whoop his ass, you didn't do that. The only people that fought Bastion were the X-Men. What you did was shut down the electricity of the entire globe. What you did was raise Asteroid M. What you did was split up the X-Men and cause the X-Men to fight on Asteroid M. What you did was rip the adamantium skeleton from Wolverine. That's what you did. You had a clear-cut opportunity to bring the fight to Bastion. But you didn't do that. You decided to do your own thing instead of holding the person responsible for Genosha accountable. You didn't do that. Magneto did not face Bastion at all last season. That was the X-Men. Magneto had the opportunity to beat Bastion's ass in the name of everybody that died on Genosha. But you didn't do that. So now here we are in season 2, and you're using Genosha as motivation so you can convince Unsabanor to be like Charles Xavier? Does that make any sense, Magneto? Please explain to me, Magneto, Eric Lyncher, how is that a good plan? Let me answer that question. It's not. It's absolutely not. Magneto, you are full of You need to stop using Genosha as an excuse to do the that you do, and you need to sit your ass down somewhere and shut the entire up. Because you are really pissing me off in this episode. Because you're dumb. So then there's this big dramatic moment of Unsabanor. He's trying to literally kill the Pharaoh with his blade, and Magneto stops him. Once again, Magneto is trying to be a voice of influence and trying to have Unsabanor follow a different path, Charles Xavier path, and not the path to Apocalypse. What the ever. So then Magneto says this line.
My intention was to inspire.
Yes, inspire me. To be like you, but I am not. No one is.
And he doesn't even know that he's talking in contradiction at this point. Because it's like, nigga, what are you saying right now? So if no one can be like Charles Xavier, then why, Magneto, are you motivating and persuading Unsabanor to follow Charles Xavier's dream? Does that make any sense? You're literally telling Charles Xavier, nobody can be like you. But here you are trying to force somebody to be like him. What? That doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. But then again, we're talking about Magneto. So then Charles Xavier actually invades the Pharaoh's mind to seek out information. And I just wanted to highlight this moment real quick because that's one of the reasons why I love telepaths. Through telepathy, you get to enter other characters' minds and see how their thought patterns are demonstrated. So it was very cool of Xavier to be entering and navigating the Pharaoh's mind, looking for information, and proving to a lot of people and us as audience members that reading somebody's mind is not as easy as it seems. So after Charles sifts through the Pharaoh's mind, Unsabanor discovers that Magneto and the X-Men are stealing technology. And this bald mother, I don't know his name, but he's also getting on my nerves in this episode. He is persuading Unsabanor to let him know that Magneto and the X-Men are full of and you need to take them down. So Unsabanor, he feels so betrayed by Magneto, and I'm like, boy, this is Magneto. You think he's the voice of the angels? No. I would have told your ass not to trust this old ass mother. He is full of So Unsabanor, he decides to murder the Pharaoh in cold blood.
No, please, no!
So Magneto, he's standing there all shocked and astonished, and it's like, what, bitch? What are you surprised about? You're the one that caused all of this. So as Unsabanor gathers his army to launch an attack on the X-Men, we see Bishop. Bishop comes through there on some CIA type. He is dressed as one of Unsabanor's army men, and once he reveals himself, his guns are locked and loaded, and he just start firing on niggas. See, one thing about Bishop, this X-Man, he ain't afraid to kill. That little code of conduct, people like Cyclops and people like Storm and people like Colossus or Nightcrawler, that little code of conduct that they have involving like the X-Men and their no kill rule, Bishop, he's one of the X-Men that don't follow that. Everybody think it's like Wolverine because he has the claws. Nah, Bishop is one of them. He's actually worse than Wolverine. He is just shooting. He is killing people without any hesitation. So then we see this bald mother. I don't even know his name, but like I said, he's been pissing me off the entire episode along with Magneto. But he decides to roll up on Bishop, and Bishop shoots this mother down and he kills him.
Oh, no! Hey, yo!
I don't know if you guys are used to like how the Fantastic Four does things, how the Avengers does things, or like I said, how a lot of the X-Men do things. Bishop don't give a about none of that. You know the term shoot first, then ask questions later? No. Bishop is going to shoot and not ask any questions at all. That's how he runs things. So Bishop straight up murdered that bald guy. Apocalypse, he crashes out, he snaps, and then he tries to charge Bishop. Now listen, as I said earlier, Unsabanor, this fool lifted up a whole entire elephant and swung it around like it was a bag of peanuts. So he ain't nothing to f around with. But guess what? Neither is Bishop. So as Unsabanor is charging Bishop, Bishop drops all of his guns and is like, bitch, I got power. F you thought.
Time to deplete the reserves.
He blasts that nigga and all you see is Unsabanor flying, feet in the air as he is being knocked back across the room. Do not f around with Bishop. In the comics, Bishop was getting ready to gun down a whole entire infant. He don't give a about that no kill rule. If you're coming at him, all gloves are off. Like I said, this nigga's worse than Wolverine. You don't mess around with Bishop. And you know how like in episode 1 of season 2, Forge gave the X-Men a day. He gave Scott and Jean more time to be with Cable and was like, okay, after 24 hours, then we can return back to the present. Bishop's like, all that. It's time to go. It's time to go. Charles was trying to say something. Rogue was trying to say something. Magneto was trying to say something. He's like, y'all, take these bands, shut the fuck up. It is time to go. The only reason why Bishop hesitated was because Unsabanor got back on his feet. And then this nigga right here, I don't know who the f this nigga is. He decides to launch an attack against Unsabanor. And you just see the whole entire cage collapse. And then we end the episode off with a to be continued. In this episode, there are only 3 people that I'm going to give my 10s to. Number 1 is Beast. Beast created a whole time machine with leftover technology that he found every time the X-Men or Unsabanor battled the forces of Pharaoh. So for months, this motherfucker was using leftover scraps to create a whole entire time machine in a cave. Like I said, that's not an Iron Man 1 quote. That is literally what Beast is doing. So shout out to Beast. Number 2, shout out to Nightcrawler because I just love Nightcrawler. His energy, his presence, his optimism. Nightcrawler is just the best. And on top of that, that motherfucker was swagged out. Look at this fit. Look at that fit. Shout out to my boy Nightcrawler. Number 3, Bishop. Bishop was only on screen for what? Less than 5 minutes? And already he shot that bald motherfucker down cold-blooded. He knocked Unsabanor across the room. And then he was not about the hesitation. He was like, let me tell y'all X-Men something. I don't have time for whatever y'all are talking about. When I say it's time to go, it is time to go.
Gratitude later. We gotta get you back home now before he comes to.
Bishop absolutely killed it. I can't wait for part 2 of this episode because I need to see more of Bishop. Magneto, Eric Lyncher, f this nigga. That's all I gotta say. F Magneto. Everything he said in this episode pissed me off. Everything he did in this episode pissed me off. Die. Okay? I just want you to die. Like, Magneto. That's all I gotta say. Other than that, this episode was a 10 out of 10. It was a 10 out of 10. Even though Magneto pissed me off in this episode, for a character to rile me up the way that Magneto has done, that is what I expect from a show. I don't expect to watch a show and just enjoy every single second of it. No, I need to have an antagonistic force to make me hate certain characters. And Magneto did that in this episode. You get your 10s for being a stupid bitch. Magneto. But that's all I gotta say for this episode. Shout out to the X-Men that are holding down 3000 BCE. Shout out to my boy Bishop. Shout out to my girl Rogue. Shout out to Beast. Shout out to Nightcrawler. Shout out to Charles Xavier. And Magneto. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in episode 4. Peace.